Hello, hello.
Good afternoon.
It's afternoon. I thought it was night. Man, I'm more fucked up than I thought.
Me too.
What was that?
I said me too.
Oh. No, Liz said something on the couch and I didn't hear what she said.
Tell Liz to quit her yapping.
I would never.
I would never make you. I apologize to Liz. Tell her I wink at her.
Matt says he winks at you.
With both eyes.
With both eyes.
Oh. That's not a wink.
What?
Not a wink.
She said that's not a wink.
Neither is she does, so I guess we're even.
You know what? Yeah, you're right. That's okay, you know?
Yeah, no, it happens. I've been talking to the audience by myself for 15 minutes.
Did you record
I'm joking.
it?
I'm totally joking. No.
Oh my god. I was like, no.
I truly never mean to do that to you. And last time I literally thought last time that I was only going to be talking to them for like 3 minutes. And then you and Meghan were both late.
Yeah.
By like a lot. How much of that did you keep in? Or did you like cut a lot of it?
I'm editing that tomorrow.
Oh, man. I think I left some good, like, pretty quiet bits in there for you.
I will definitely take a look and be like, okay, let's see.
You don't have to keep every mention of me being fucking snug as a bug in a rug either.
Fair enough.
I was just telling the audience how burritoed up I was.
Fucking Rito'd like hell.
Just Rito'd up, man.
Just Rito'd up. That's gonna be that's the name of an episode right there. Although I don't know.
I think we can call it. No, didn't we have a name for that episode in the episode?
I think so.
I feel like we did. You'll know when you're editing
episode 90 things, the thing that we talked about.
Yeah,
that's what it was. You know, that thing that we talked about.
Yeah.
So, I've been listening to this other podcast.
Oh, Jesus, you're cheating on us?
I mean, not really. It's, just listening to other things.
Yeah, no, it was a joke.
I know. But it's a podcast called Into the Aether.
Yeah, I think you've mentioned it. Is that the video game one or no?
Yeah, it's a video game podcast, and they were talking about the PSP.
Yeah.
And man, I used to have a PSP, like, way back in the day.
Indeed.
And it ignited a certain kind of nostalgia inside my brain that I was just like, no, I can't do that.
See, dude, I can't do portable game systems.
Okay.
So, like, the reason that I like the Switch, right, is because I have the option to take it portable, but it connects to a TV screen.
Yes. Because there are definitely some games that are, like, you have to play it on fucking...
Right, but, like, my whole thing is I can't, like, if I'm looking at a very small screen for a very long time...
Yeah.
It hurts my head.
Yeah, I get that.
Oh, your partner just sent a gif of Joey from Friends winking. She's so funny. Yeah. She's so fucking funny.
She is a fucking riot. So
I just love that, like, it all stems from a party where she just winked at me for literally no reason, and I was like, what's happening here?
What's going on here?
What's happening?
It's just what she does, anyways.
Yeah, so I got a Switch because I wanted to play Animal Crossing during the pandemic. Yeah. And I was like, I just gotta hook this up to a TV. There's no way that I could, like, maximum I could sit there for 3 hours looking at a screen, but afterwards my eyes would feel tired and, like...
Yeah, I mean, I don't like looking at a screen for more than a couple hours anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I do it all day for work, but...
Yeah, I don't do it for work all day, so, like... like there's some games on the like I have a Switch now, and there's some games that I really love playing portable. Like I personally like playing Animal Crossing portable. Like I'll put it on the TV and play it on the TV, and that's great. I got no problem with that. But like, I have no problem being like, I'm gonna get cozy in bed and just fucking play Animal Crossing for like 45 minutes before I am too tired and I need to go to bed. That's great.
See, I could fuck with that, but only because there wasn't a lot happening on the screen, and it's not like...
Yeah.
Like, Animal Crossing is one of those games that you can play... Like, even me, I can play for a long time on a screen, but like... Or, like, a smaller screen. Because it's, like, vibrant, and it's not, like... My eyes don't have to focus too much on, like, small details.
Yeah.
But, like, all the other games that are like, hey, we're going to ask that you, like, look at this very intensely. I'm just like, oh, no, thank you.
See, it's so funny because, like, I know a lot of people that are like, yeah, it's great having Persona 5 on the Switch because, like, it's great portable. And I'm like, no, fuck that. I want Persona on my full screen. If I'm going to have an all-out attack, I want it the full size of my TV.
Yeah,
you know?
I can't do big games on small systems.
Yeah. No, but, like, the thing is with the PSP, like... I enjoyed it because I remember, like, again, from being in high school, I had one, and I'd, like, play it on the bus ride home from school. And my bus ride was, like, 25 minutes tops. So, like, it wasn't a lot of time that I was spending with it, but there were a lot of games that you could just, like, turn on, play for 25 minutes, and turn off.
Yeah.
And that was great. Like, that is the idea of having a system to me that, like, can, like, fit in my pocket and I can just, like, whip out, boop, 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 all right, cool, and then put it away. Like, that's fun. But also, I don't need that. And I can't tell if it's, like, my nostalgia from having one at one point in my life or if it's, like, just something that seems alluring, you know?
Yeah. I mean, we've been talking a lot about nostalgia in the D&D chat, too, where you guys have been talking about, like, the Metal Gear Solid games. And you're like, I don't know if I want to download them on my PS5 or play them on the PS2. And I wish I still had my old systems, but they're gone now.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, I really lucked out. Again, my partner is amazing, and she bought me a PlayStation 2 for Christmas one year.
Yeah.
And so now I get to have this, like, oh my god, I can, like, go back
now
and
you get
like,
to have the existential crisis.
Well, it's like, there's a lot of times where I'm like, man, I used to remember, like, I loved this game on the PlayStation 2. I, like, bought it for, like, $10 on eBay, and I've had a great time with it. But then there's also things like Metal Gear that I never got into when I was a kid. And I'm like, man, that, like, quintessential Metal Gear experience, I might have to just get it on the PlayStation 2, like I talked about, where I was like, is this the spot to do it? You know?
Hi, Megan.
Hi, Megan.
Hi. I'm here.
She's here. She sounds enthused.
Absolutely enthused.
I mean, I know you just worked, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been out of work for exactly 40 minutes, and 16 of those minutes
We're in a car.
We're in a car.
Yikes.
So I'm here. I have hot chocolate, though.
I did not work today.
Nice.
I demanded a day off.
Good.
Good. I'm glad you took charge.
Well, I mean, so my weekends are about to get really rough because we are rolling out a new platform so that volunteers can sign up for their own shifts, and people don't know how to do that. So, I'm going to be, it's like my Friday is now going to be me checking in with volunteers to be like, hey, did you sign up for a shift? Do I have to check it? Because we haven't fully, like, integrated the system, and I'm not sure if the system, like, with me as a manager can put it in a Google Calendar so that I can check it. It's like a whole bunch of learning. But
yeah.
Last weekend, I had the craziest fucking situation happen where a volunteer was scheduled. I texted her on Friday, and I was like, hey, if you don't mind pulling extra shifts this weekend, I could really use some time off. And I was like, could you do 11 to 2 on Saturday and then also do your 12 to 2 o'clock shift on Sunday? She goes, yeah, that's no problem. I wake up on Saturday, and at like 9 o'clock, I get a text from her, and she's like, hey, I'm not really feeling well. Probably just best that I don't come in. And I was like, okay, great. So the time that I thought I had off, I don't have off. And then the next morning, she sends me a text at like 11:45, and she's supposed to be in at 12, and she's like, hey, my phone, the alarm didn't go off, so I'm gonna be a little bit late. And I was like, okay, that's fine, I'll just let the volunteer that's on know. And she fucking, an hour later, I get a text from the volunteer that's on, and she's just like, I can just stay till 2 o'clock. And I was like, Jesus fucking Christ, this girl still hasn't showed up yet? So I text the girl that's supposed to be there, and I say, hey, can you just cover 4 to 6 instead? That's the only gap that I have, like, left in my schedule. She goes, yeah, that's fine. Really sorry about that. I was like, yeah, no, it's not a problem. And then fucking at 4 o'clock, I get a text from her, and she's like, hey, sorry, I have to go back up to my apartment and change shirts. I'm going to be a little bit late. And I was like, okay. I got a call 30 minutes later from the volunteer that was on, and she's like, no one has come to relieve me.
I'd like to leave. Like, this is my whole day.
Yeah, and I mean, I was talking to and this woman is like in her 80s and sounds like a strong wind could shatter every bone in her body just talking to her. Like, when you talk to her, it is the most frail, shaky voice that you've ever heard on a telephone. And so I was just like, you can just leave the keys and I'll drive over. And she's like, what? And I was like, just leave the keys. Like, go, do your day. And so I text the other volunteer back, and I was just like, hey, don't bother coming in. I'm just going to take the shift that you said you'd take. Like, so then I texted my boss, and I was like, hey, I'm taking Thursday off. And then while we were at a meeting on Monday when I came in, she's like, oh, we have a committee meeting on Thursday. And I was like, fine, I'll take Tuesday off. So I got to sit at home.
I guess. I mean,
that was a long story.
Girl or
Jeez.
whoever.
Yeah,
whoever
I mean,
she is.
The problem is that,
was like, yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah, she canceled on me 3 times. My issue is that, like, sometimes there are people who just struggle with saying no. And so it's like, I don't know if there's a bit of that going on where it's just like, I'm actually doing something and I can't. But I don't know how to handle it anymore because I can't keep relying on this person and not having them show up.
No, but, like, I feel like the other problem is, like, there's a difference between not being able to say no and because you feel like you're going to let someone down, and then being like, I'm not saying no, and therefore it is actively hurting everyone else.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, you have to say no so everyone can, like, get on with their lives, or, like, you have to commit to the bit.
Yeah. You really just have to fucking...
You have to either full send it or be like, I can't.
Yeah.
Like, I can't do it. You're gonna have to find another person, and then we can all move on. The person shouldn't be guilted. Like,
right. No, I never try to do that with the volunteers that I ask to come out. Like, I send them texts, and I'm like, if you can't do it, it's fine. I'll move on to the next person on my list.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
But it's better for you to know.
Just can't keep having people cancel on me. This was the same girl that, like, I texted in the middle of the week, and I said, hey, can you cover a shift this weekend? And she said, yeah, sure. And then she was like, hey, by the way, I'm still sick and I'm not coming. And I was like, that's not... Tell me no in the middle of the week. Tell me you're still sick in the middle of the week.
She was ghost like Swayze.
Yeah.
She's like, leave me alone.
Just ghosted me. Wild. I think we said that we were going to let Meghan go first this time.
Yes.
If I'm remembering correctly.
I'm going to eat this other marshmallow.
Zach, do you have a preference?
No, not at all.
Ooh. You want to rock, paper, scissors for it?
We can rock, paper, scissors for it, or I can just go last, because I haven't gone last in a while.
All right. Sounds good. You'll go last,
it sounds like the gods have decided.
The gods have decided, and we didn't even have to play a messy game of rock, paper, scissors.
Messy game. Sloppy game.
The sloppiest.
Sloppy game.
So sloppy.
So sloppy.
Oh, so Bachelor update. My girl.
Oh, shit.
Oh, wait, hold on. Yeah, give me a minute.
Oh, shit.
I'm choking. I'm choking on a marshmallow.
You're what?
I'm choking on a marshmallow.
Oh.
Okay. So the week before last week, I had 3 girls.
Yeah.
I am down to 1 girl.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
They absolutely got slaughtered.
Jeez.
It's okay.
Are you still the points winner?
It is unclear who the points winner was last week because there are only 4 girls left, and one of them is my last stand.
Is this this isn't the bitchy one?
No, she got eliminated.
Bitch?
No, this wasn't. This is not the secret bitch, who was my strongest contender.
I know. She was like a dark horse bitch.
She was a dark horse bitch, but me and Alex, our girls, both got private dates with The Bachelor.
Oh, damn.
And so that's a lot of points. And now, this week, the episode that just aired, which I haven't watched yet, they go to hometowns. They go meet the families.
Oh, hell yeah.
That is a lot of points.
Yeah.
So there are only 4 people in the running. And I'm still ahead of 2 of those people.
There you go.
That I know of. Yeah, get that money.
Yeah.
Dude, I can't wait for you to get that money.
I know. Do you think I have to, like... Is that a W-9?
No.
No,
I don't think.
I don't think you have to claim it. I think you're good.
I don't have to claim it.
I don't on taxes.
How do I? Yeah, should I Google it? Should I just be like, "Hey, how do I won this from my Bachelor
don't
fantasy
Google it, because then they know you have.
Yeah, then they track it.
No, you're
then
right.
They track it.
Yeah,
if you don't talk about it, it's not there.
Don't talk. I haven't won. I have won no money.
You haven't won yet. And if you do,
and if you do, we don't talk about it.
We don't talk about it.
It's
we
like
don't
Fight
talk
Club.
about Bruno and Fight Club. But that's my Bachelor update.
Wonderful.
I'm
This is
still
great
in
news.
it. My mom, every time me and my sister, one of my sisters also watches The Bachelor, and last night she was like, Megan, did you see? I'm like, no, I'm not caught up on that episode, so shh, don't talk to me about it. My mom was just like, I can't with you two. And I'm like, Deborah, you helped me pick this team.
Deborah, you failed me.
She's like, but now I'm the cool guy that doesn't want to look at explosions.
Yeah, I'm like, Deborah, we are so close.
Deborah, we're in this together.
We're in this together.
It's time you talk to your mom. Let her know I say hi.
I will.
You should probably get this ball rolling, though.
Propskis.
We'll get this ball rolling. I have today.
Hell yeah.
Get this ball
in
rolling
history.
so Sisyphus can hold on to it at the bottom of the mountain.
Keep on rolling. Oh my god, I wanted to buy a shirt the other day.
Yeah.
Speaking of Sisyphus and other absurdists, I wanted to buy a shirt the other day that just had a fucking cockroach on it, or like a bug.
Yeah.
And it said, I woke up like this, in reference to Franz Kafka's The Metamorphosis.
Yeah.
That's really
and
good.
I was like, only so many people are going to get this joke, and I love it.
I wanted to buy
That's
a
really
shirt the
good.
other day that said "The floor is lava, champion," and it was like a reference to Pompeii.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
that's
that
good
one's
too.
also good.
And the upsetting thing is that they don't have it in my size. And like
Okay.
every shirt that they have is cotton, which means that even if they did have it in my size, it would shrink when I put it through the wash. So
Fair enough.
it's a shame. It's
Well,
a damn shame.
Shame.
If
Damn
you,
shame.
what if you washed it in the shower with you?
Yeah, no, definitely a great call. But we should definitely get started.
Okay.
If Megan
I'm
would
ready.
like to
I'm here.
count us in.
3, 2, 1, go. Today in history, in 1979, the U.S. space probe Voyager 1 flew by Io, the innermost of Jupiter's satellites, and observed not 7, not 8, but 9 active volcanoes on its surface.
Welcome to What the Fuck History, where we discuss the wackiest and weirdest things that make us say, well, what the fuck history. I'm your host, Zachary, and I gotta say, man, I love dick. I'll elaborate later.
That's really good. My name's Megan, and I'd just like to say, wahoo! Which is how prairie dogs check in with each other.
Oh.
And I'm Matt. Today I learned about the hooded pitui, which is the first recorded poisonous bird. Its wings are coated in a neurotoxin which causes numbness and burning.
Oh,
Okay.
that's it?
Well,
Yeah. Well, I mean,
That's like-
it probably
just-
causes more.
Just numbness and burning? That's not bad. It's only light
I
poisoning.
I know, that's not bad.
It's a gentle poisoning for sure.
I've been building myself up to that kind of poisoning for years.
Just like that one guy. And then he tries to
How
poison
did they
himself with
find that
a
out?
poisonous bird, and
And it doesn't work.
it doesn't work. If you guys haven't seen that episode, then that joke is not for you. And if you haven't seen that episode, go back and listen.
Well, hey, Matt, they haven't seen
did
any
they-
episodes except for that one that we did a video
Because
recording.
we don't record in video.
We don't record
If you
the
haven't
video,
heard
but
it, you guys know what I fucking meant.
did they touch it? How did they touch it? How did they catch that bird?
With their hands, which was a mistake.
Like, a true demonstration of a bird in the hand.
Is worth two in the bush. No, I think so. The video that I watched of it, there was a gentleman who was. It was found in Papua New Guinea, and there was a gentleman that was
As all-
handling it with a pair of like white cloth gloves. And as he was turning it over in his hand, you could see this like bright orange residue coming off the wings and onto the glove. So that's kind of
Okay.
cool that, you know, a bird has developed a poisonous neurotoxin to save its own life.
I mean, I guess if you're into poisonous neurotoxins, it's pretty cool.
I mean, how could you not be?
I mean, last I checked, they were not great for you, but sure.
Hey, you're not wrong. Oh, it's my line.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
everybody, our strikes have been set to
I was
zero.
like, all right.
Zach and I almost played a dangerous game of rock, paper, scissors, but that fate was avoided, and we decided that the order for tonight is Megan, followed by me, followed by Zach. And Zach said that he wanted to come last because he hasn't been the caboose in a while.
Oh, that's better than what I was going to say.
I
Yeah.
know, that was so better than what I was going to say.
Yeah.
You knew what I was going to say.
Those of you
Yeah,
that
I
have
did
been
know.
listening long enough know exactly where Zach was going with that.
Look, I'm
But
just
anyways.
a gentleman. What can I say?
Megan,
All
kick
right.
it off.
It's me. All right. So I don't have a snappy name for this, but I think it'll speak for itself when I tell you I'm here to explain the Rendlesham Forest incident, which sounds like the poshest forest I've ever heard of.
It also
Rendlesham?
sounds
Yeah, Rendlesham.
a
Okay.
little bit like a Archfey came up with a name for a forest as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, that too. Or like a really posh all-boys school.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
like one of
Welcome to
Yeah, like-
Rendlesham.
Rendlesham, or
Yes.
Rendlesham is like the head boy.
Yeah.
Rendlesham
My father
is-
named the school.
Rendlesham is definitely the head boy that's secretly the bad guy, because that's how all those movies
It's
go.
not a fucking secret. He walks up to you with he walks up to you with a sneer, and he's like, "Hi, my name's Rendlesham." And you just
Rendlesham, I
know,
can't wait to kick your ass in the fifth.
you just know he's the bad guy.
Yeah,
My
he
papa bought a
definitely-
school, and I get to go here for free.
For free.
His name is
My
Wendell
father's the
Rendlesham.
headmaster. Ooh. Wendell.
Hey guys,
The third.
Making him a D&D character already.
Thursday night,
All
y'all
right.
are gonna meet Wendell Rendlesham.
Wendell Rendlesham. Anyways.
What number is he though?
Huh?
What do you mean number?
Is he the third? Is he the
Oh,
second?
no.
No,
He's the fifth.
The fifth, of course.
He's a junior, which is the most
Oh,
inferior of all
yeah,
of
no, you're
those.
absolutely right. He hasn't
Do
earned
they
a
even
number.
do they even do that in England, do you think? I've never met an English person who's like a junior.
No, I think it's purely American.
That makes sense. Okay, so, Rendlesham. So everything in England, obviously, sounds either a little stupid or pretentious. Even their UFO sightings,
As
because
we've
that's right,
just
people.
demonstrated.
As we've just demonstrated, because I am back with yet another alien story.
Aliens.
It's a part of history. Yeah. Well, it's a part of history, and I will not take any criticisms at this time.
Nobody was going to
So-
criticize you.
Nah, you're good.
Thank you.
You good, homie?
Thank you. Thanks. So the story I'm bringing you tonight is called Britain's Roswell, essentially.
Nice.
But yeah, so it's a big deal. Because if I have learned anything about alien sightings in America, is that Roswell is like the Hope Diamond
Sure was the
of
one.
alien sightings. It sure was the one. So obviously its official name is the Rendlesham Forest Incident, which sounds very pretentious. And our story takes place in Suffolk, England on December of 1980. The area in question was right outside of the RAF Woodbridge, which was being used as the United States Air Force base in the area at the time. And on December 26th, right after Christmas, and I believe the English would call this Boxing Day.
Yes.
You're welcome. For all of the English people here, I am aware of your culture, and that's about it. So at around 3 a.m. on this day after our Lord, a security patrol near the east gate of the compound saw lights descending into the forest. The servicemen initially thought it was a downed aircraft. This was a
that
base
seems
after all, so...
logical.
Yeah, I mean, it seems they're like, oh, lights are coming down. This is an Air Force base. I can put two and two together.
That dog
I am not a
hunts,
product.
for sure.
Yeah, that dog hunts. Someone cooked here. I can add because I wasn't. They did. Someone drew.
I don't know why. That was just so out of left field. Someone cooked here.
Someone cooked here. Have you been seeing those memes?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, like I have. It's
okay.
just like I
Wasn't
don't know why
expecting
that
it.
just caught me off guard.
That's fair. That's fair.
Oh,
every
man.
time someone says it, it also catches me. I'm like, that's so funny. I love that expression. I also been using inappropriate expressions like someone cooked here at work, but luckily
Nobody knows what you're
older
talking
patrons
about.
no one knows what I'm talking about.
As you should.
I've also been using I've also been using I've got that dog in me too.
Got that
so
dog in
that's
me.
I got that dog.
There's nothing like taking a big swig of mug root beer and realizing you got that dog.
You got that dog in
I
you.
got that dog in me. So these servicemen had that dog in them, and that dog was knowledge. And they were like, "That's an aircraft that's going down." And
Just so good. Just so good.
And so, thinking that it's a downed aircraft, they're like, "Oh, we should go help. We should go investigate." And when they went to go investigate, they saw a glowing object that was metallic in appearance with colored lights. And when they tried to get closer to it, it looked like it was moving through the trees. And the animals on the nearby farm were going absolutely batshit crazy. One of the servicemen went so far as to put in his memo that he wrote afterwards that they encountered a craft of unknown origin, but when police were called to the scene, about an hour later, the only lights that could be observed were from the nearby lighthouse that was like a few miles away. So when dawn came, the servicemen returned to the scene. They're like, we'll figure this out in God's sunlight. And just like God's big flashlight will shine down upon us. They were like, okay, let's go to the clearing where we last saw these lights. And when they got there, they found 3 small impressions on the ground in the shape of a triangle, which could have been made by anything, but there were also burn marks and broken branches on the nearby trees. Which, again, maybe the animals are having a rager. I don't know.
They probably were.
I mean,
They probably were.
fucking badgers are wild.
Honey badger don't give a shit.
Honey
Why
badger
should
don't
any
care.
other badgers?
That's true. I think prairie dogs only live in the United States, but they could hold a rager. Wahoo! So the police were then like called back later in the morning to come see these new findings. They're like, "Hello, it's lighter. Can you please come look at this again?" But the police were like, "IDK, like maybe a bear on fire could have made those. I don't know."
A bear on fire.
Bear on fire.
Now tell
like,
me, officer, you seen any bears on fire around here? Sorry, it's England. No, tell me,
It's England.
officer.
Yeah, so it sounded,
Excuse
even
me,
though
my
it
good
sounded.
man.
There we go.
Have you seen any
It
bears?
sounds smart. Have you? Do bears even live here
The
anymore?
Mandela effect that we all missed was when the Bernstein Bears caught on fire.
Yes, yeah.
I did forget that.
The Bernstein
so-
Bears and that awful forest fire that killed everyone.
And the cover is just the whole bear family huddled together, just shaking. Our entire way of
But
life.
they are our entire way of life.
We
You know, I
need
used to love
stay
those
on
books.
track here.
That's true. Okay, so the police officers were no help. So then 2 days later,
Sounds like police officers.
the servicemen were also like, okay, maybe we should take radiation readouts of the area. And those readouts revealed that the radiation was a lot higher in the clearing than it was in the surrounding areas. Obviously, aliens are made of radiation.
They
so
are.
during this, they're made of radiation. That's just straight up facts. So during this investigation, a flashing red light was also seen across the field to the east, just like on the first night. So this is like 2 days later, people are seeing lights again. So obviously, UFOologists were like, it's fucking aliens. I know it. All signs are pointing to it. And we also have to remember that this area was like in the middle of 2 active Air Force bases that had their runways nearby. But the ufologists were like, we don't fucking care. That means nothing to us. It's still aliens.
Man, ufologists are always like, it's fucking aliens.
They got one job, dude.
They
Like,
literally
their
get paid
purview-
to say that it's aliens, though.
Yeah.
They do get paid.
They don't get
to say
paid if
that.
they don't diagnose it as
Now,
aliens.
before we go any further, yeah, alienologists, Yeah, they get paid to fucking say that aliens are real. Whatever, we know this. However,
We know
Bigfoot,
this.
totally a fucking thing.
That's true, though. I went to the Cryptozoology Museum, and they had enough evidence that did convince me that Bigfoot is real.
Okay, I was saying that as a
Like-
bit of a joke, but also, yeah, I mean, hey, why not?
Listen, I just don't. I think that there might be enough evidence to suggest that it's not just one Bigfoot, it's big feet.
I believe.
Yeah, I believe. So, also in the area was, and I'm going to pronounce this wrong because I'm sure it's like, you know how it's not Haver Hill, it's Haverhill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here, this is going to be one of those things. So, the way I'm going to say it is the Orfordness Lighthouse.
I'm going to need you to put that in the chat right under the picture of Wendell Rendlesham.
Wendell Rendlesham.
Hey.
Yeah, I can put this in the chat. It is Ford. Yeah. Sorry. Fordness. This one. Okay. So this lighthouse was only 5 miles away, but it was the brightest lighthouse in the UK at the time. So this could also explain the really bright light that they were seeing and chasing through the woods. Now, is it weird that the lighthouse would be facing inland? Yes.
Yes. That is a weird
Impossible?
coincidence.
It's a weird coincidence, yes. But Zach, is it impossible?
No.
No. So, that being said, the only primary source we have of the incident is called the Halt Memo, which was written by the guy who witnessed the event nearly 2 weeks after it happened. And the investigations into the event were also pretty cursory, even though other witnesses on that night said that they saw a beacon, that they followed through the forest, and that they also saw the farm animals going nuts. So then, this gets revisited in 2010. And Halt, the guy who wrote the memo, went on the record to rehash the events. But at this point, 30 fucking years had passed. And people were like, there are inconsistencies with your story. Like, no shit. Can you remember blow by blow what happened 4 Tuesdays ago?
No.
No.
Nope.
No.
I can't remember
Also-
what happened today, and I'm in it.
And I'm in it. I'm living today right now at 9:39 at night.
Yeah.
Also, Halt's former superiors started being like, this guy claimed it was an extraterrestrial event and then said we tried to cover it up. He's a fucking disgrace to both America and Britain. And, that's the worst thing that's ever happened to either of those countries. 9/11 and the Great London Stink never happened. This guy being like, aliens are real. We didn't watch 3,000 people die on TV.
Oh my
So,
God.
obviously, there are theories. Some people say that this whole thing was a hoax. One former U.S. security policeman claimed that he created the strange lights by driving around a police vehicle whose lights he had modified. Why he was doing this, I don't know, but there's no evidence that he was doing it on the night in question.
Yeah, seems pretty fucking sus. That's a cover-up if I've ever heard one.
Yeah, he's like, I modified my police car and drove around the woods to convince people that there are aliens.
And I
okay.
lit a bear on fire.
And I lit a
And
bear
then I-
on fire.
But that was just for me.
That was my magnum opus. So, other people say that it was a downed Soviet satellite because the Soviets were leaving those things everywhere. We
that
had
seems
satellites to
plausible.
spare. That one seems plausible. The most widely accepted theory is that it was a fucking fireball and that the scratches were rabbit diggings.
Oh?
I mean, that's not as
they
exciting
gave-
as a bear on fire, but
It's not.
No. But also, why is a random fireball more believable than any of the other things?
Okay, but maybe a low... orbit.
Could it not have been like a
asteroid
low
burnout?
meteorite? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a meteorite burnout?
I mean, that's possible. Like, again, we've had a lot of stories on here where like very normal astrological events happen.
Yeah,
Scare
like
the
when
shit out of
Zach's,
people, yeah.
when Zach's fucking pyramid flew over.
Exactly.
Yeah. Just like Zach's pyramid, or the celestial battle that I talked about in Europe. So like, there's a lot of stuff that happens in the sky that like people just like they don't know enough information at the time that they're seeing it, and so the story gets stretched and misconstrued. But whether or not the incident was aliens or not, it has given people something to think about when they go to Rendlesham Forest. So now there's a UFO trail with an artist installation at the end depicting like what a UFO might have looked like, and books have been written on the subject. And like there's a nice forest trail there now, and it like attracts tourists to the area. So
Okay.
It all ends in tourism.
As it always does.
As it
As it
always
always
should.
does. Yeah.
Look, man. All I'm saying is
It's not a bear on fire.
It's not a bear on fire. You're right.
it's not a bear on fire.
Not a bear on fire.
Not a bear on fire. Fireball.
Ba-da-da-da-da-da.
Boo-doo-boo.
Unironically, Mr. Worldwide is the fucking man.
Dude, every time when I went to Miami, I was just like, I was walking around the streets, I was like, where is the 305? Like, where is his neighborhood? I want to go.
I think there was a fucking like dumb video that came out that was like, my alternative ending to Barbie is that Pitbull just shows up at the end and teaches Ken that it's cool, it's okay to be a feminist and also party. And I was like, yeah, that's the alternative ending I'm okay with.
That I'm okay with that. He teaches Ken how to love.
He
the
teaches
whole time.
Ken how to be a true man.
A true man, Mr. Worldwide.
It's a worldwide.
Mr.
God
Worldwide.
damn. Okay,
But-
I'm gonna do my thing now.
Please
I'm
do.
waiting for you. Please.
Okay. I just want to state for the record that I don't want to be discussing this topic tonight. I've chosen it because somebody had to eventually, and I guess it might as well be me, but I take no joy in it. And that's because
Okay.
tonight I am talking about the French.
Okay, I was really nervous for a second, but like,
Sacre bleu.
Sacre bleu.
So this story, once again, pertains to a person with far too many names. Born with far too many names. But I do also want to state up front that this story involves a person who is, by every account, including their own, well, not including their own, but by pretty much every account, they're gender fluid. And so I'm going to be using he, him pronouns for the parts of the life of this person that pertain to their life as a man, as society knew them. And then I'm going to be using she, her pronouns for the parts of their life that pertain to their life as a woman, as far as like when the world began to identify this person as a woman.
Got it.
Okay.
So I just wanted to state that up front.
Clarification. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't want. It's important to note too that this person always identified as female, according to their own life story, but just so that you understand where the cutoff kind of happens, I'm going to be using he, him for the beginning, she, her for the end, and
Got
I'll
it.
kind of try and wrap it all up in a pretty little bow at the end.
Okay.
So to begin, here come all the names. Charles, Genevieve, Louis, Auguste, André, Timothée, Diane, de Beaumont was born
Yes.
on October 5th
Gesundheit.
My birthday.
in the year of our Lord 1728 in the French town of Burgundy. And as I mentioned, he was born as a male. He grew up rich, and most of his childhood, with respect to his life story, is very uneventful. He goes to school in Paris. He eventually becomes involved in civil service, and in 1756, he becomes the secretary to the French ambassador to Russia. And, like, his appointment at school, or, like, him getting into the school that he got into, was mostly due to family ties. Him rising through the ranks is because he was a little badass. Like, just worked hard.
Nice.
But he eventually gets a role in government. But this role, as it turns out, is a front. So he's assigned as a secretary to the French ambassador, but in reality, he is a spy for an organization that's known as the King's Secret. And there's a French name for that, but I'm not doing it, so pout.
Oh, you're not.
Pout somewhere
Okay.
else. So the ultimate goal of this agency, the King's Secret, is to restore a French ruler to the Polish throne, so that it can come under the rule of France again, and it can become a satellite of French rule. But unfortunately, in the same year that he gets added to the ranks of the King's Secret, France gets involved in the 7-Year War. For those of our listening audience that don't follow history, what the fuck are you doing here?
Only 7 years this time.
Yeah, and for those of you that do follow history, you'll recall that the 7-Year War did not go great for France.
No.
Most wars don't.
What's that?
Most wars don't.
Most
wars
wars, yeah,
don't.
no, most wars definitely don't go well for France, but this one especially did not. So by the end of it, France had to renounce all their land in North America, and then they got saddled with a fuckload of debt, like the children of America.
Yes.
In today's day and age, not in the past. You could buy anything you want for a penny in America back then. So in the meantime, Charlie B earns himself an appointment to the military and gains the title of chevalier, which is essentially like the French version of a knight. He becomes a sir. But they go through the 7-Year War. France gets saddled with all this debt. And after the 7-Year War, the agency, the spy agency that Charles is a part of, changes tack, changes direction. It receives new orders which are to invade Britain. And Charles himself gets appointed as an ambassador in Britain, so that he can help this organization do that.
Okay.
So Charlie B keeps up his life as a spy, trying to learn and exploit weaknesses in the British government. But unfortunately for the French government, he also has extremely expensive tastes.
I love that for them.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, so he is constantly reprimanded by his government for importing expensive wine. And he sends his government a series of angry emails and texts because he's getting orders that are contradictory to what his role in the King's Secret needed. So he's essentially getting like things that undermine his role in the King's Secret, and he's like trying to play both roles at the same time.
Yeah.
And so 6 months after he gets appointed as an ambassador in Britain, he gets fired. And the French government demands that he return, and he says no.
Baller move.
Yeah, no, it really You got to have stones to say no to your government.
I mean, I say no to my government all the time.
Well, yeah, but like
Every
I
day.
have giant
Every day I
cojones.
say no thank you.
yeah. So they send the French government send people to come and get him, and by get I mean kidnap.
I kind of assumed it was a little bit like throw a bag over the head and throw him in the back of a van, like, you know.
And to sort of skirt around this, or to sort of stop them from trying to do this because he evades capture, he basically sends them a message and says, I'm going to tell all your dirty little secrets because I kept receipts. And if you keep trying to get me to come home, I'm going to publish all these papers that show evidence of, like, the French spying on the British. But they don't stop trying to kidnap him, and so he publishes a book of his conversations between him and the French government. And this does two things. It makes him immediately a household name in France.
Oh.
And it also puts him in the good graces of the British, who are now aware of this whole thing, and they sort of grant him asylum.
That the French suck.
Exactly. But they grant him asylum in Britain for as long as he would like to stay. He's allowed to continue living his life in Britain with an allowance from the French king for services rendered, but he is at this point exiled from France forever. Which, in my opinion, he's living the dream.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, isn't that a great thing?
Yeah, so...
Paris smells like piss.
Huh?
Like, I'm sure Paris has always smelled like piss.
Yeah.
Maybe the French countryside is
I'm
better.
pretty sure it's built on piss, right? It's
built on piss.
It's
made
built on
of piss.
Yep. It's true. Yes, it's built on piss.
The buildings are made of bricks of piss.
Yes, that's true. Where's the piss history?
Where's the piss history? But in 1774, King Louis the 15th dies, and his son, King Louis the 16th, decides that he wants to dismantle the king's secret, this spy agency that Charles belonged to.
Boo.
And this brings our main character back to the forefront. However, at this point, she was going by the name Charlotte. So a gentleman by the name Pierre Beaumarchais is sent to negotiate...
Beaumarchais.
Huh?
Beaumarchais.
He also had like 3 middle names that I didn't bother to put in. At least I think he had 3 middle names. So Pierre gets sent to England to negotiate the return of Charlotte, and she agrees that she will come back under the stipulation that the government accept her as a female.
Atta girl.
Oh. Yeah.
It takes a long time, because it's approximately 2 years before Charlotte moves back to France.
Okay.
But it's not getting the government to admit that she's a female, because like that they readily accepted pretty quickly. It's like other nitpicky bullshit that they end up going back and forth over.
Yeah, say what you will about the French, and we say a lot, but they're a lot more progressive than we are.
Right, yeah.
That's
and
true. They did just enshrine the right to abortion in their constitution, so...
But the thing that was working to Charlotte's benefit as well is that this wasn't a new thing. So as I mentioned, in Charlotte's own sort of story of her life, she had always been a female. So the topic of Charlotte's gender had been a discussion in France for a long time, so it wasn't very difficult for anyone to be like, yeah, that's fine. You're a woman.
Okay.
In fact, people had been sent from France to England to determine whether or not Charlotte was a female, and went back to France and said, she says she's a female, so I'm going to go with she's a female.
I very much appreciate that that seems really shitty, but I like that how the determination was she said she is.
She said she is, so she is, as opposed to America where it's like, oh, you're a woman? Show me your genitals. But again, as I mentioned, it takes till 1777 before Charlotte goes back home. And she is eventually introduced at court in Versailles. But many of the French ladies who were present at her introduction were pretty rude. One of them was even quoted as saying that she looked nothing like a woman, and that her curls were a mess. But the rest of the French welcomed her and accepted her as a woman. And this sort of automatically launched her out as like a heroic figure, much in the same way they elevated Joan of Arc.
Hell yeah.
Because according to Charlotte's story, which I'll get into in a little bit, she'd always been a woman, and she, had worked for the French government. Unfortunately for Charlotte, her conversion to life as a female rendered her ability to engage in politics and war essentially moot, where she had influence because she had been a man before. She was now essentially ignored. She wanted to be sent to war on several occasions, and they sideline her.
I take it back. They're no longer progressive.
Yeah.
I take it. I choose. I don't agree anymore.
Oh, shit. I guess I don't have it in my notes. So I'll just tell you. According to Charlotte's own story about her life, she was born female, and then her father had demanded of her that she live in the role of a male. So according to her own story, she says that her parents wanted her to live up to this expectation, so her whole life she was forced to be a male.
Okay.
So I don't know why I didn't put that in my notes, unless of course I've skipped ahead. I missed the part where I was supposed to say it earlier. But
happens to the best of us.
So yeah, she now finds herself in situations where she's put on the sidelines as far as politics. She wants to be deployed in other wars, and she's not given the chance to. And she is essentially retired and given a pension by the government, which dries up after a certain point because, as I mentioned, Charlotte had expensive tastes. And she starts to do public fencing matches for money.
Hell yeah.
And unfortunately, those also fizzle out after she gets injured. Yeah, no. I mean, I wish the end of her life had been as heroic as, all the things leading up to the tail end here. She retires with another woman. This woman's name was Mrs. Cole. She moves in with her. And, they live in the attic of some French apartment. And when she dies, Mrs. Cole goes to prepare her body for a funeral. And finds that Charlotte does have male genitalia, which posthumously leads to Charlotte being declared definitively male.
Fucking shitty.
It is shitty, but it also draws parallels to, I don't know if you guys remember, and you probably do, but there was a doctor that we talked about ages ago that had been born female
Yeah.
and lived life as a male. and had their gender revealed after their passing.
Yeah.
But as I mentioned, Charlotte, anytime that she described her own life, had been a female her whole life. So it's kind of shitty to me, especially, or to anyone in this day and age, I guess, especially, that, like, everyone who had so quickly been like, yeah, you're a woman, that's fine, immediately switched back to, oh, no, boy parts, so boy all life. Like, it's just like, no, this person identified themselves as a female, and it should be none of our fucking business.
Yeah.
But that's the whole story of Charles Beaumont, or Charlotte Beaumont.
Can you say the whole name again?
Yeah.
The whole...
So it's Charles Genevieve Louis Auguste André Timothée de Aon de Beaumont. And that's the most French you'll ever get out of me.
That's a lot of names.
It's a lot of French.
It's a ton of fucking
It's
names.
a lot of...
And a good amount of French. So...
Damn.
Yeah, I thought that was a pretty interesting story. I can't remember whether I caught it on, like, Reddit or somewhere, but it was like, have you guys heard about that French noble that was born a man and became a woman and fought in duels? And as with everything, it's not nearly as heroic as that even made it sound. But it's like French nobleman that became a spy that identified as a woman that unfortunately had to resort to doing duels to, like, make enough to afford bread.
Yeah. That's the shitty part, especially at the end. Like,
it's always crazy that, like, you go on, like, these dives, or, like, you see something, you read something, and then it's like, oh yeah, let me research that. And then the story is, like, way sadder just because...
Yeah.
Like, everyone wants to make these figures heroic, and she was seen as heroic. Charlotte was, like I said, they elevated her to a position of, like, Joan of Arc. Like, most of the people talked about her like she was a hero. But it's unfortunate that she wasn't really treated like one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So...
That's the really shitty part.
Yeah, it's upsetting.
But
see if I can find a picture of her for you guys.
Please do. And while you do that, I'm going to make the world's most awkward segue because that's a depressing ending to a story.
I know. There's no, like, snappy joke.
There's no snappy joke here.
No, it's not. It's not great.
Yeah. Before I get into my story, I would like to take a little bit of time, if all of you don't mind at all. We've talked about this before. Hey folks, it's us again. And we're here to talk to you about Magic Mind. Because we've been here to talk to you about Magic Mind for a little bit now. Magic Mind is an all-natural energy beverage, I guess is the best way to put it. Actually, it's a nootropic energy shot is the best way to actually say it. And it's matcha and some great... mushrooms in there and other herbs that kind of ashwagandha, things that help you with your mental acuity, as well as your mood, I guess is the best way to put it. I know ashwagandha helps me chill the heck out. But it's a little green shot that you take, and it gives you a little bit of natural energy as well as some clarity in your brain. I was taking it for quite a little bit when they gave us some free samples that were good. And I was taking it when I finished work at 2 o'clock, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm too tired to function as a human being because I've been up since 5 a.m., but I still got to go home, and I got to go to the gym, and I got to edit the podcast, and I got to, cook dinner and clean the house, and oh my God, how am I going to handle all these things? And then I was like, oh wait, hey, matcha and ashwagandha makes me feel real good and have some great energy. And it also doesn't taste like... I know there's been some nootropic stuff that I've tried in the past that it tastes like nothing but ginger and grass, and it's real gross. I love ginger. I don't love grass. But Magic Mind does taste good.
Wait, well, it depends. What grass are we talking about?
Not the good grass.
Not the devil's grass.
Not the devil's lettuce. But, like, you know, just take a handful of dirt and give a chew on it. No, but yeah, it tastes great. And again, it, like, helps you with energy. Like, you don't have that, hey, I'm going to chug a cup and a half of coffee and then crash in 2 hours. It's more like, oh, yeah, no, I feel alert, not I feel wired, which is nice. It's a nice little boost. And our listeners can get a lovely little discount if you go to magicmind.com/whistory and use the offer code whistory20. That's magicmind.com/whistory and the code whistory20. I don't remember how much that discount code is for. I can double check and remind at the end of the episode, but if you use that, you'll get a little discount on us. So if you want to try a lovely nootropic little energy shot, head on over to Magic Mind. And with that, I will start my story.
All right. Lay it on us.
I'm laying it on you because it's now time to elaborate about what I said earlier about loving dick. Tonight...
Finally,
I'm going to elaborate. Tonight, I'm going to talk about a man by the name of Dick Turpin. And I gotta say, I love this guy.
Dick Turpin.
Yes, Richard Dick Turpin. He's wild, he's weird, and most certainly could be categorized as a heinous gentleman of history. So, Richard Turpin started life out like all of us here, you know, being born in the early 1700s in the middle of an inn to a butcher and his wife. You know, standard life stuff. That's, you know, how it went for me too. As the son of a butcher, he got very little in, like, the way of a formal education. He wasn't going to grade school, but boy howdy, he could cut up a pig. So, that's what he did.
Yep. That's what I want in a man, if you can butcher a hog.
I don't care if a man can add good, I care if he can butcher a hog.
That's what I'm looking for.
I'm looking for an all-American man, by the way. Richard Turpin was born in England.
I know he's a true American. All Americans, most Americans back then came
were
from
born
England.
in England.
Is it bad that with the accent that I just put on and saying all-American a bunch, all I can think of is Alice's Restaurant Massacre from, what's his name, Allo Guthrie?
Yeah.
I want to be the all-American kid. I want to kill and have gore and blood running down my face.
All right.
Fucking dumb song, sorry.
It is a terrible... I mean, I used to listen to it every fucking year.
It's great. I love it. So, at the ripe old age of 20, he gets married and moves away from home and starts his own butcher shop. And I'd say, wow, the American dream, but as I said, this is England and 300 fucking years ago, so... completely wrong. So, little side note, do y'all remember in Robin Hood when the, like, kid gets in trouble for killing the king's deer in the king's forest? Do you remember that bit?
Yeah.
Kind of.
So, poaching deer in the king's forest was actually kind of a fucking thing. And
why is he taking all the deer? What's he need those deer for?
It's a king's hunting ground, I guess. I don't fucking know.
Oh.
I don't know what kings do. I've never been royal and rich.
I would be more impressed if the king had more of a plan for the deer other than just killing them. Like, if he had a secret deer factory where all the deer...
I have a secret deer factory. I've mounted machine guns onto all the deer. They're my new strike force.
Yeah, like King Henry VIII is just like, I'm forming a new army to get rid of the French, and it's like tactical deer.
Guys, hear me out. I have Deer Force 1 on standby.
I have Deer Force 1 on standby.
Deer Force 1.
And they have, like, they're dressed in, like, little livery vests.
Oh my god. Yeah, they have, like, the fucking berets on and everything.
Oh my god. I like
I
this.
love it. I love it. This needs to be an image that is drawn.
Content.
Please, Megan.
Okay. Deer. It's like a deer talking into a walkie-talkie. This is Deer Force One.
This is Deer Force One. We are a go. Anyway, so the killing of the king's deer in the royal forest is something that has happened for a long time and continued to run rampant even into the 1730s when Dick Turpin was around. And local courts instituted several ways to fix the problem, including, but not limited to, the Black Act, which made it illegal to blacken or disguise your face in the forest. Please, can we institute a similar policy for all the shitty people down south and also 50s/60s Hollywood? One of the...
You can't.
I think we've already proven that we can't.
We can't. I know.
You can't
Especially going
engage
back
in
in time, but
blackface.
Oops, we already didn't do that, unfortunately.
oops, we already fucked up. So many of the people who liked to kill the king's deer included a group of people called the Essex Gang. And the Essex Gang was a group of all these brothers and their friends and this one chick named Mary. And the gang kills a whole bunch of deer and then is like, wait, we have a bunch of deer carcasses. What the fuck are we supposed to do with this? Wait, hold up a minute. There's a fancy new butcher that just moved to Essex by the name of Dick Turpin. Let's go talk to him.
Yeah, I want to go see Dick.
Let's go see Dick.
Let's go have a conversation with him.
We got all this deer, now let's get Dick. And so it goes, the usual story. You dice up a few deer steaks, you get paid extra well, some from shady people, and now you're hanging out with a bunch of hardened criminals doing crimes. Happens to the best of us. I did it a couple weekends ago myself. You know, it just is what it is.
We're going to ignore the fact that Zach just admitted to doing crimes.
By October of 1734, though, most of the gang has been captured or has fled. You see, after a couple of times of robbing and stealing and killing deer, there was a bounty of 50 pounds on each man's head, which does not seem like a lot, but nowadays that's roughly 9,000 pounds, which is still not a lot. Shit's too fucking expensive.
That's true.
The remaining gang members, including Turpin, all go in and start being like, well, if the deer ain't cutting it, I guess we should just start robbing people. Like, fuck the deer, let's start robbing people. And they start by robbing a candle maker.
Deer.
The deer are not important. Forget the deer.
They're so important. They're such an important part of the lore of this story.
Forget the deer. The deer don't have a concept of wealth. Let's get rid of the deer and go after people.
Oh no. But what if they did have a concept of wealth? What if there are are deer money lenders?
What's the deer economy look like?
What does the deer economy look like? I walk outside
Is the
and
deer
I just
economy also
yell.
plagued with rampant inflation right now?
Yes.
No, but the deer economy is also plagued with brain worms. So
Our economy is plagued with brain worms.
Yes, it is.
yeah, and unlike the deer, the brain worms don't affect the deer, but the brain worms affect everyone else.
Exactly. So
This fact was brought to you by science. We did look up brain worms in deer.
we did, I guess.
Did we?
Sure.
No. Me and other people, we went on a tangent about brain worms in deer, and I was like, oh my god, are they okay? And they are. But all other animals that come into contact with infected deer with brain worms are not okay afterwards. They are not okay. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
So they rob a candle maker and a grocer, but that's small potatoes. Pun intended, I will take the strike. But eventually they start hitting bigger homes and they make quite a lot of cash. One robbery that they do nets them a startling 300 pounds, then 300 pounds, now 52-ish thousand pounds. Now we're talking actual money.
Wow.
And so, yeah, right? Right? And so some of the robberies were absolutely buck wild, including the robbery of one Joseph Lawrence, where allegedly they captured one of Lawrence's farmhands, burst into the farmhouse with the farmhand in tow, tied everyone up except for Lawrence, whom they pulled his pants down, dragged him around the house, and beat his bare ass with the butts of their pistols in an attempt to find out where he stashed the money. They only found 30 pounds, but imagining the whole fucking affair is just, it's quite something.
Well, yeah. Yep. No, you're right. The imagination.
The imagination runs a little wild. You know, it is what it is. I'm imagining this, like, random dude literally getting his ass smacked with the butt of a fucking pistol, and it's awful, but I'm still laughing. Because, you know, I am. Hold on, I'm lost myself in my notes. Sorry.
No problem.
And, where was I?
You did it again, folks.
I did it again! Ugh, I'm getting too into it. Yeah, so the whole thing, but so they keep robbing all these people, and eventually that kind of ends up falling through, as 3 of the members of the Essex gang are captured in Bloomsbury, and one member of the gang, who, mind you, was only 15 years old at this time, ends up squealing on everyone, including Dick, because he's a fucking scared 15-year-old who's about to be arrested, and they didn't have, like, juvie back then. Like, at best, he was going to be sentenced to a decade of transportation, so... Which... If you're not familiar with what transportation is as a punishment, it's they send you off to a penal colony to do labor for 10 years and then your debt's paid off, and you can never return to England ever again.
I see.
I just thought that you meant he
got to go ride around on
public
horses.
Transport. Yeah, I thought that he got to, like, go.
This is your punishment. We're sending you to the mountains to ride a horse.
We're sending you down to the farm to go with the horses. That farm up north.
And everyone's just like, that doesn't sound so bad.
The farm that
like
everyone's
nice
animals go to.
Yeah. And with the gang pretty much gone, Dick is like, well, I used to be a butcher and I was pretty good at that, but then I started robbing people and I was really good at that. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. Let's try to figure out, like, what my next move is. And his next move ends up being, well, I guess I'll just become a highwayman, because that's still robbing, which I'm good at.
Yeah, of course.
And he does this quite well. He's very good at being a highwayman, and he does it for quite some time. And he constantly dodges the law and avoids being arrested on several occasions, but... After a particularly nasty gunfight that results in one of his Robin buddies being, well, shot lethally. It's actually unclear, by the way, if
Carl,
it was the... Carl that kills people. Yeah, kind of. Because they don't know if it was Turpin or the authorities that shot his friend.
Oh, man.
Like, it's kind of unclear, but, like, I'm guessing if it's unclear which one got shot, I'm assuming it was probably Turpin that shot him. So, Dick pulls the disappearing act as soon as his friend gets shot, because I, too, would get the fuck out of Dodge at that point. But he assumes the alias of John Palmer and eventually, like, kind of just hangs out and does whatever he wants. And most of that is hunting with big wigs and pretending that he's a horse farmer. Because, I don't know, it's a living.
It's a living, I guess.
But he ends up getting caught in October of 1738 due to an argument after he shoots another person's gamecock in the middle of the street because it was bothering him.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
That makes sense.
I think we can all relate to shooting somebody else's gamecock because it's bothering them.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, that's true.
But, like, basically the gamecock was bothering him, and then he got taken in for, like, killing someone else's animal, and then everyone was like, hey, you're
you bear
really
a striking
rich.
resemblance to that one guy.
Yeah, pretty much everyone was like, you're really rich. How did you say you got your money again? And he was like, horses don't ask questions.
I absolutely love the idea of someone being like, you're rich. How'd you do that?
Well, he, like, showed up in this town, and they looked back at records and was like, this dude seems like the most well-established man in this town, and he's been here for 4 months.
You rolled a really high persuasion check.
He rolled a really good persuasion check and deception check until he fucking didn't.
Yeah.
And eventually
It's the story of every bard after a campaign wraps up.
Yo, Turpin is, like, absolutely a bard, for sure. And eventually he's charged and convicted of horse theft, which seems like...
Oh, no! He stole the horses!
It's like old-timey tax evasion charges, you know? Like, well, you can't get Al Capone on the murders, so you might as well get him on tax evasion.
Yeah,
you can't
get him on the
Turpin.
smallest charge you can.
You can't get Turpin on all the fucking robberies, so what are you gonna do? Horse thievery?
Yeah, he's been stealing these horses all over town.
But unlike Capone, who gets a cushy chisel in Alcatraz, the sentence for horse thievery in England at the time is to be hung by the neck until dead.
Oh, I thought it was going to be you get to go up north and ride horses.
You do get to go up north, but you don't get to ride any horses.
That's a shame.
You'll get... Yeah, that seems exactly like what he would want to do, though.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
He's a horseman.
He'd want to ride them away from where they're owned.
And on April 7th, 1739, Dick Turpin was hung by the neck until dead, which was his punishment. And the wild thing about Dick Turpin is, and the reason he's remotely important, is because he becomes the most absolute Chad of a legend literally minutes after he fucking dies. Because one of his friends was like, oh my god, there was like a whole, like, this is the 1730s, there's nothing better to do than watch people get hung and listen to court cases in the news, which is still in, like, print and not in TV and radio. So it was a very public case. And one of his friends, Richard Bays, like, immediately after Dick's death, is like, that's it. I'm going to publish the genuine history of the life of Richard Turpin. 90% of it is fucking made up.
Oh,
but if I call it
The
the genuine
Procopius.
history, I can say that it's accurate.
And nobody had cell phones to record
And no one fucking...
their whole lives.
That's true. Unfortunate, truly, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's completely embellished. Bays' description of Turpin, like, said that he was friends with the king of the highwaymen, and he, like, did these miraculous rides all across England, robbing people, like, in 24 hours, enough to, like, make a king's ransom. Wild fucking stories. And so Dick Turpin became, like, the poster child for Penny Dreadful novels at the time.
Nice.
Oh, good for him.
And it's great because the legend of Dick Turpin still lives on to this day. He's been in everything from silent movies back in the 20s as a character to more modern interpretations. They made a play on at one point. There's a couple TV series, including a new TV series that's actually coming out with Noel Fielding taking on the role of Dick Turpin, which is where I heard about him in the first place.
Jeez.
Because Noel Fielding is iconic. And
Noel Fielding is he's the one that played...
I love Noel Fielding.
Old Greg, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he played Old Greg.
So what I'm saying is Old Greg is going to be the highwayman now.
Nice.
Oh, God. He's so funny. Have you guys ever watched the Big Fat Quiz of the Year?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. Oh my god.
Yeah,
His
when
outfits
Noel
on their
Fielding
show.
and Russell Brand
He's the best.
Like-
He's the best.
I know. He's so funny.
Noel
Like,
Fielding,
Recent.
Richard
go
Ayoade,
ahead.
and Greg Davies are a fucking treat.
Yeah.
I know. They're such titans.
Greg Davies
Titans of
especially, because
comedy. Like-
Greg Davies is 6'8".
Greg Davies is also
yeah.
like I just
literal
love
titan.
I just love his story because he was a school teacher forever
Yeah.
and then he retired to do comedy
yes.
and he's just like a genuinely funny guy. One of my
he's
favorite
great.
clips of Greg Davies is from a show called Taskmaster
I love Taskmaster.
where he's given like a box to open and one of the contestants is like, "Open the box, you fucking pussy." And he like takes him behind the stage and he's just like, what was that about? And talks to him as if he's a school teacher. I'd just taken control of the box. If I'd had it for 5 minutes, I could see you being upset. So funny, so good.
I love
I think
that.
the British are just funnier than we are.
Yeah, it's a different sense of humor, and it's also better.
It works. It just works for me.
It just works. But yes, that is the story of Dick Turpin, the legendary quote-unquote highwayman of England.
The gentleman crimesman.
The gentleman
The
crimesman.
gentleman crimesman who loved horses
Who loved
and
horses.
also maybe
Horses.
controlled.
And
He
beating
loved
people
horses
in
and
the ass
controlled
with a
Deer Force
pistol.
One.
Yeah.
And beating people in the ass with a pistol.
Oh.
Controlled the deer.
Deer Force One.
Deer Force One.
He controlled Deer Force One. He was the first commander-in-chief of Deer Force One. These are all confirmed facts about him.
Facts.
They are the genuine story.
These are
Imagine
the
nowadays
genuine
trying to
facts.
like if you labeled something as the genuine. Do you know how many armchair historians or how many like random
Oh, yeah.
keyboard warriors would be like, that didn't happen?
Actually.
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 But yes, that is it for our illustrious show this evening, I do believe. And before we officially
I think so.
sign off, first off, once again, thanks to Magic Mind for sponsoring this episode. If you go to magicmind.com/whistory and use our offer code WHistory20, you'll get 20% off your purchase. I double-checked the numbers. It is 20%.
He figured it out.
Imagine that. 20 on the end of the code also means 20%. Who would have guessed? But yes.
Yeah, no, I mean, I had a strong inkling that was the case, but I didn't want to pipe up while you were in the middle of doing your thing.
I appreciated it, but you know what? Hey, you can always interrupt me. I don't mind.
That is kind of the point of the show as well.
Exactly. But the other thing, if you can't go on and you know, order nootropics, because, you know, maybe you already have some at home. I don't know what your lifestyle is. But you can also follow us on all of our social medias if you want to give us a little friendly wave. You can find us on Facebook at the Triumvirate Productions. You can find us on Instagram at _Triumvirate_Productions. Or if you really are feeling fancy, you can join our Patreon, which is patreon.com/Triumvirate Productions, where you can join our $3, $5, or $10 levels of patron bonuses, which is funnily named our 1, 2, and 3 strike levels, which will... It'll give you a lot of fun things, such as bonus episodes of our After Dark series, where you get to hear kind of things that happened before we actually officially hit the recording button, and also uncut episodes that get released a day before the regular episodes do. Also, Patreon members get to interact with us personally a lot more, so if you're a fan of the show and you want to kind of, you know, bend our ear a little bit, Patreon's
We have
the
a
place
Discord
to...
where you can do that.
We do have a Discord that we have going with
We
our
have a
patrons right
Discord.
now. But yeah, so that's it. And the other thing is, if you can't afford to give us $3 or $5 a month, we understand. We get it. Don't break your bank for us. That's not cool. But just tell a friend or review us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. It helps just to have you talk about us because we like it. We know you talk about us, and we hope it's only good things. We'll know if it's bad things, but we know it's only good
we'll
things.
steal your horse if it isn't.
we'll steal
good
your
things.
horses.
Yeah, we'll take that fucking horse. All right,
We're gonna take your horse.
we're gonna take it, and that is a threat and a promise.
But yeah, that's it. That's what I got going. That's just me.
Wonderful.
That's me.
That's
Man,
me.
I'm tired.
Hey,
Look, I've been
We
up
get
since
it.
5 o'clock, and I've had like 2.5 glasses of wine. It's all good, boys.
we get.
It's just like, and I'm having
All right.
myself a night.
We will close out the episode then to save Zach from having to be up any later than he needs to be. What the fuck, history?